Shere Khan, and I'm gonna. Oh, Benedict Cumberbatch has like the coolest voice ever, and apparently I just can't do it. Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and this is my spoiler-free review for Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle. Right from the get-go, I am giving this movie a B+. I found it entertaining, enjoyable, and different enough from Disney's live-action Jungle Book that, you know, I got something new out of it. So I really did enjoy that. It definitely had a lot of strong similarities together. It still isn't the best movie ever, and I understand why Warner Brothers sold it to Netflix. I really do. In fact, I'm very glad that they did. I mean, Andy Serkis did a great job with all of that, so like, I just feel like all of that was really, really solid with this movie. But I feel like if Warner Brothers released this on the big screen around the time they were planning to release it, I really do think the Disney Jungle Book would have decimated this. Not because this is bad. I think this is actually really good, and it probably could have held its own, but I think what Disney had was the Disney nostalgia, and they did a really good job playing on that nostalgia. So I think it was sense to me that it was straight to Netflix. Like, I gave it a B+, but I feel like I would be dropping the grade to like a B or something, like if I saw it on the big screen and had to pay extra money for it. About this movie is, first off, the animation is pretty solid. There's some places where it's very cartoony to me, like talking to Kaa, even though Kaa with Cate Blanchett voicing Kaa was like one of my favorite things in this movie. More interesting in this movie than she was in, you know, the live action Jungle Book. So some places like that were very cartoony, but other places where he's talking to Bagheera, or he's talking to Baloo and the elephants and some of that stuff, that felt more photoreal. So there were some places where the animation felt cartoony for me, other places where it felt photoreal to me, and I really enjoyed it. So, I mean, as a whole, I thought a lot of that was really, really good. Love Benedict Cumberbatch as Shere Khan. He was a great villain. It did remind me a little bit of The Hobbit when he... But since I like that quality, it didn't bother me that it had that similar quality, so I enjoyed that. So much of it I really did enjoy. The voice talent was so good. Christian Bale as Bagheera, I thought he did a really great job in that character. Andy Serkis is like the master of motion capture, so I thought he was great as Baloo. I thought the kid playing Mowgli did a great job. So all of that, like, is we spend more time in the Man Village, where Mowgli gets rejected from Wolfkind, kind of like he does in all versions, so it's like, I don't think that's a spoiler, but the way that he spends time with mankind, and he finds a mother figure that he bonds to, and he gets along with the kids in the village and stuff like that, and it's not like a ton of time he's in the Man Village, but they did just enough time in the Man Village in you know, getting you that feeling that he's torn between two worlds now. They did enough of a good job with that it did separate it from that Disney live action village. And just like you had Shere Khan as the villain of the animal kingdom in the jungle, breaking jungle law, you had a human that was the same thing. That was the villain, that was the hunter hunting for sport, the poacher, you know, like that character. So it was kind of interesting to have like a Shere Khan of the jungle and a Shere Khan of the Man Village. And so I think they did a really good job with stuff like that. So that's why I'm giving this a B+. I thought it was a highly entertaining movie, had a lot of strong similarities to the Disney live action version, but had enough differences that it was something that was unique, and it made it on Netflix. If you watched Mowgli, what are your thoughts on this movie? Be sure to let me know in the comments, and while you're there, hit the subscribe button, become a Durbanian, hit the bell by the subscribe button so you're notified for my next movie review, theological analysis, trailer reaction, or anything else I do here. I'm Durbin.